Morning, everyone. I just want to share with you a wee tip for today that I use to help my clients get themselves motivated and get things moving when they feel that they're having trouble getting it first gear. And it's called Don't Forget About the Bus. And I'll tell you what that means. We'll start with a wee story first. I remember years ago when I used to do a bit of boxing training, and I was speaking to a boxing coach who actually coached professional champions, and he said to me that he'd see a lot of other boxing coaches giving advice to boxers if they're maybe losing a fight. They would say, work on your jab, uppercut, hook, slip, slide, and give them lots of different advice. And a very good point that he made that always stuck with me was when people are under stress and the world's closing in on them and they're having a serious crisis of confidence, you need to keep things simple because people cannot absorb too much when they're feeling like that. And all too often, when people are feeling like that, you'll find that maybe life coaches are saying, try this, do that, try this, mantra. Or you'll find, like for example, what the boxing coach said to me was that if somebody's losing a fight, they're stressed enough as it is. If you give them far too many instructions and directions, that just confuses the matter more. When people are under pressure to get out of that situation, when they feel kind of there's a great burden on them, they need just one wee simple path to help them get out of it. And what he said to me was, focus on the thing that matters. Just one thing, just focus on one thing. And say a boxer came back to his corner and he was struggling, he'd think to himself, what is the one thing that this young boxer could do to maybe change the pattern, to maybe win the fight or to do better in the bout? And he would maybe say, I would give them one instruction, just one thing to focus on. Say it was the jab, he'd say, your jab, work on your jab, you're working your jab. He would just repeat that one thing, so when they went out for the next round, no matter how stressed or how fatigued they were feeling, they only focused on the one and more important thing, rather than trying to absorb lots of different things and probably not be able to execute any of them. And that's like life. When you're feeling under a tremendous amount of stress and a tremendous amount of pressure, we're not superheroes, we're only human beings. Sometimes it's better to just have a focus on one thing, and that's where the bus comes in. I'll tell you what that means. What I say to my clients is that when life's getting top of them, when they are doubting themselves, when their kind of a brains almost, our emotions are working against themselves, this is a useful tool to use. What I say to them is this. If you're standing in front of a bus, if you're in the middle of a road and a big London double-decker bus is coming towards you, and you feel positive, and you feel confident, and you feel strong, and you feel happy, and you feel great, and might is right, you're in control of things, you rock this world, you get squished. On another given day, you stand in the middle of a road, London double-decker buses come towards you, you feel nervous, you feel angsty, you feel confused, you feel quite low, you feel really apathetic, you don't know if it's New Year or New York, nothing makes sense, you just don't know where you're going to start, but you step out of the way. The bus goes by. And the moral of the story is this. It doesn't really matter how you think or how you feel. The bus is still going to keep coming. It's your actions of getting out of the way that dictated the outcome. So I always say to people when they're feeling stressed or they feel confused, they're feeling pressured, and their brain's working against them and they don't know if their emotions are telling them this or they've got racing thoughts in their head telling them this, and the pressure's too, just remember the bus. It's your actions that will dictate the outcome of your life, not your emotions or your thoughts. Yes, you need to have thoughts, but sometimes we all know this, if we're honest with ourselves, our thoughts can work against us. And we all know what our emotions can do. They're not always the best guide. So when you're feeling a bit frustrated and you're feeling that you don't really know what the right direction is, just take a deep breath and remember one thing. Just remember the bus. It's the actions you take, not what you're feeling at the time. It's the actions you take that will dictate the outcome of your life. And if you take the right actions, then the outcome will be a good life, a happy life, a productive life, or a better business, or whatever. So we can't always use our emotions as a guide. So sometimes you just need to take a deep breath and focus on that one thing. Like the boxing coach said, don't think about all the multiple things. When you're feeling like that, think about the one thing. And the one thing is the bus. And what that does, remember what I say to my clients, think about the bus, and that reminds you, oh yeah, forget how I'm feeling today, I'll just take the actions, whether that's a to-do list, whether that's focus on the one task that matters most, whether that means just, right, I need to work on myself for today, just focus on the one thing, and that's a great thing to get you back on track, because it's your actions, not your emotions, that will dictate the outcome of your life. Have a good day.